Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me for another class. So today I'm super excited because we're going to be doing a full Pilates class with props. So the prop that we're going to use is a long foam roller. Now before you shut this video off because you don't have a foam roller, I will be giving options for you to do it either without a foam roller, okay? It's just going to have a different type of challenge. Some things will be a little less challenging, some things may actually be a little more challenging, but you don't necessarily need the foam roller for it. It's just a great prop to have. The other option is if you have a shorter foam roller, you'll skip the first portion that we're going to do with the foam roller, but then the rest you can actually do with the shorter one. I am going to suggest that you make sure that your foam roller is nice and smooth, so I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's no like bumps around this one, because you will be putting limbs, hands, knees, feet, whatever on top of it. And so if it's the bumpy foam roller that you typically use to like roll out your leg or something, you're not going to want to use that one for this. So find a soft foam roller if you can. It doesn't have to be this long, but ideally it is. If it's shorter, I'll give you options for doing the shorter ones. If you don't have one at all, you can still do the workout. I'll just talk you through options of not having a roller, okay? But otherwise, the movements will be pretty much the same, okay? All right, so let's get started. I'm super pumped. This is going to be a lot of fun. So if you have your foam roller, you're going to lie on it with your tailbone at one end and your head at the other. Okay, make sure that it doesn't matter how high your head is really, but your tailbone is somewhere around the bottom of it. If you don't have a foam roller, you're just going to lie on your back on the ground. If you're using a shorter foam roller that your body won't fit on, then just do this portion on the ground and we'll move on to using the roller later. Okay, so lots of different options here. This is going to be a challenging, balance-based workout for the most part, so be patient with yourself. It's probably super new for you unless you've done some of this stuff in Pilates classes before. So just take it slow. I'm going to struggle with it too. It's going to be awesome. All right, lying on the roller or on the ground, feet are flat, hip width apart, and your arms are just going to be down by your side. Take a few breaths to settle into the roller here or into the mat. It's probably going to feel a little awkward if you are on the roller. Just take a few deep breaths and allow yourself to relax into that position. All right, we're going to take our attention to our pubic bone and our hip bones. Okay? And I want you to think about drawing that pubic bone up towards your head as you press lower back into the mat slightly, or into the roller. Okay, and then you're going to tilt that tailbone or that pubic bone away from you as your pelvis tilts towards your feet. Okay, and tilting up to your head and away to your feet. If you need to readjust on the roller, feel free just to kind of get your bearings. So your tailbone shouldn't be falling off the roller. It should just be coming to the edge. And really focus on moving from that pubic bone as you tilt away. So stay really light on your feet. I don't want you pushing into the ground heavy with your feet. They should almost be able to lift if you wanted them to. That's how light they are. And doing this, you should feel a lot of work across the front of your belly just to make this movement happen. So these are going to be your stabilizers while we move around on the roller, because eventually it's going to get a little more unstable. And these are the muscles we want to ask to work to keep us balanced. Just do a couple more. Good, and settle in the center. So there's still that gentle curve underneath you, whether you're on the roller or the mat, and you're feeling pretty heavy across the tailbone or across the very top of the strap on your pants, especially if you're wearing yoga pants, that thick strap. Sometimes it's easier to mentally think about staying heavy on that position. Good, so arms are down by your side. You're going to flip so that your hands Your palms are facing your hips and your thumbs are up. Okay, feet will stay heavy on the mat here. You're going to reach your arms up and over. They only need to come in line with your head as a maximum. They don't need to go down to the floor, even if you feel like you can reach there. That's okay. It's not about stretching as far as possible. It's just about finding some balance while we move our arms around. So you already may feel like you need to use a little bit of core to not fall off this roller. Deep breaths in as you come up, exhale as you come down. One more. Good. Pause at your hips so hands are hovered. Palms will flip up towards the ceiling, and you're going to open up and around towards your head, like you're making a snow angel. Now this motion may feel a little bit less balanced than the other, or it may feel exactly the same. You should feel like your core has to work a little bit, especially as your arms are up to find that balance. And then maybe it relaxes a little as your arms come back down to your side. But you want to keep that roller as still as possible as you move it. So you don't want it rocking around. Obviously I'm over-exaggerating, but rocking around as you're moving those arms up. You want to keep it super still. As if someone could only see the roller, they wouldn't know that you were moving. One more. Good, and hands are settled down by your side. All right, we're going to make this a little bit more complex. Hands can stay anchored to the floor, so they are going to be your support system. If at any point you feel like you need more support, take your hands out a little bit wider, okay, and that's going to give you more support. The closer they are to your sides and to the roller, the harder it will be, and the farther out they are, the little easier it will be. All right, draw that belly in and get really solid across the front of your core. You're going to raise one leg into tabletop and then set it down. Good, we're going to switch from side to side. So lift the other and set it down. Nice. And you might notice that one leg is a lot easier to lift up and stay balanced than the other. For me, my right leg is quite easy to lift up. I have lots of balance there, but when I lift my left, I feel significantly more unstable. Everybody will have a good side and a bad side, and that is completely normal. Really make sure that the knee of the leg that's on the ground stays nice and straight towards the ceiling and in line with your hip. So don't let it fall out like this just to find balance. Keep it straight up and down. That belly is going to have to really work to stay balanced here. Lots of breathing. Good. Even it out. Nice. When you get back to your first leg, you're going to leave it up there. Hands can stay on the floor. We'll raise the other leg up to meet it. So now both feet are off the ground. In tabletop, hands are giving you some support. Good. Tap one foot to the floor, and then alternate as the other one comes down and the first one comes up. So we're doing a bit of a march. We've done this on the mat before. Find lots of core across the front of your belly, lots of stability. Good. And 3, and 2, and 1. Good. And settle both feet down. Whew, my core is already working a ton. I hope yours is too. All right, we're going to bring our hands behind our head. They can interlace or they can just be kind of grabbing across the base of your skull. Let your arms, or your elbows rather, hang off to the side. You might feel a little bit of a stretch across the chest here. And just take a deep breath in and exhale, relax into that stretch. One more. I don't know if you guys can hear on the camera, but I've locked my dog out of the room while I'm filming, and she's whining a lot. All right, raise those elbows just slightly so that you can see them out of the corner of your eye. Feet are planted firmly on the ground. You're going to nod your chin, and I want you to peel yourself up to the base of your ribs on the roller. Good, a little bit more stability is needed here. If you're on the mat, it will still be core work, but it won't be that stability work. Curl up to the base of your ribs and back down to the roller. Nod chin, curl up and down. And can you feel like your knees, your legs, your pelvis stays very still while you do this? It's not going to rock from side to side. You're not going to press the lower back in to lift those hips. Okay, everything stays very heavy across that top portion of your pants or your tailbone. Good, just a few more here. And relax. One more. Nice. We're going to challenge this a little bit. When we curl up, we're going to come off to the side just slightly. So you'll nod your chin. You'll curl up and then you'll begin to reach opposite armpit to opposite hip. And then roll back down into the center. Good. We're going to go the other side. Nod chin. Curl up opposite armpit to opposite hip. And come back down in the center. So you're going off balance a little bit, and you still need to maintain that neutral pelvis and the balance and stability on top of the roller. If you're on the mat only, you will feel like you've got a lot of core work on the side of your core, so in your obliques, but maybe not necessarily the stability of the roller, which is fine. Last one here. Come down. Good. And your hands can come back down to the mat beside you. Feet are still flat on the roller. Good. Deep breath in and exhale, sink in. All right, you're going to reach those hands long. Palms stay on the ground, but arms are completely straight and a little bit more active. So hands are pushing into the mat just slightly. You're going to nod your chin. And you're going to begin to curl yourself up, reaching away. Palms can still be on the mat. Again, at any point, if you need to take your hands out wider, feel free to do so. This is where I struggle, so bear with me. You'll bring one leg into tabletop. This is enough for you. Stay here. Otherwise, you're going to bring the other one into tabletop. Good. Lots of balance work here. Breathe. Nice. All right, you're going to extend your right leg out straight, even if it's on an angle. Bring it back in. Extend left. Extend right. Extend left. Right. Nice and slow. Left. One more each side. And left. Don't collapse. Bring one leg down, then the other, and uncurl. Oh, beautiful. Open your arms out to just below your shoulders, and let that open up your chest and relax a little bit. Good. Nice. All right, we're going to add one more challenge here before we get off this roller in this position. Arms down by your side. If you didn't need to open them out wide last time, good job. You may need to consider that this time. I think I will. All right, nod your chin. Begin to curl yourself up as you reach your hands long, but palms on the ground. Bring one leg into tabletop, and then the other. Good. Find that balance. If this is enough for you, stay here. Otherwise, you're going to raise your right arm to the ceiling. Lower the hand down. Raise the left hand to the ceiling. Lower down. You can also do this with your head down on the ground or on the roller. So raising one hand to the ceiling and then the other. Legs just balance. Just stay there. Find lots of core work to stabilize on the roller. Woo. And switch. Good. So head can be down on the roller or it can be up in that ab curl. It's entirely up to you. Good. Give me one more on each side. Right arm and left arm. Lower one foot, then the other, and come down. Beautiful. All right, you're going to roll off the roller, and I just want you to lie on your mat for a moment and just settle onto the ground. And just notice how you feel. You may feel like you're pretty heavy into the floor. There's maybe a little divot in your mat as a result of the pressure of the roller, which is fine. And hopefully you feel like you're a little more settled on the ground. Everything is kind of connected. Ribs are nice and down and they're not popped up towards the ceiling. Good. All right. You're just going to bring yourself up and bring your roller back to, doesn't matter where it is on the mat. I will face you guys, but you can have it kind of across the width of your mat. And you're going to sit on it. All right, you're going to sit on it widthwise with your legs out in front of you. And your legs can be at a little bit of a V. I want you to make sure that you're not sagging into your knees and hyperextending them, all right? So keep them fairly stiff so that if you feel like they're active and they have to work a little bit to keep you balanced here. You should feel like your hip flexors, so those muscles right in between your hip, are working a little bit to keep you upright. And the bony parts of your bum should be digging into the roller. If you're on the mat, that's still fine, or if you have a shorter roller, just make sure that you can fit on it. But if you're on the mat, you're still thinking the same thing. You're going to be sitting upright. If you need to bend your knees a little bit, you can do that to make sure that you sit very, very tall. And those bony sitting bones should still be pushing into your mat. So with or without the roller, you're in the same position. You're going to have your hands on your head, or if that's not comfortable, you can have them across your chest, okay, whichever you would like. On those sitting bones, you're going to bend over to one side without raising that sitting bone off the mat or the roller. Keep it nice and heavy, and then come back up. Rotate the other way and drop that opposite sitting bone. So this sitting bone for me is going to drop down and come up. Rotate. And side bend. I want you to imagine that this ball behind me that you can see right here is on your side, and you're curving up and over top of that beach ball or that stability ball as you come over. So you're not going to collapse to the side, but you're really going to arc up and over as if you're opening this up as much as you can. And side. One more on each side. And last one. Good, and relax. All right, if your hip flexors are getting a little tired, feel free to release them a little bit and just relax those legs If you do have knee troubles, just be careful not to hang on the joint even though you're relaxed for a moment. Alright, find that activity again, so legs are nice and solid, slight bend in the knee. Toes are going to be pulling up towards the ceiling, so that helps them stay active. Arms can be out by your side, or again, if you prefer to have them on your chest or on your head, feel free. And you're going to rotate to one side and come back. And then rotate the other way and come back. And notice, I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but your feet are not going to slide one way or the other as you rotate. They're going to stay totally stable and still with one another as you rotate. So your hips don't rock off the roller. Your feet don't come apart on that parallel from one another. Inhale as you rotate. Exhale, center. Good, one more each side. Nice. And just relax for a moment. All right. You can keep your feet wide if you'd like, but if it's comfortable for you, bring them a little bit more narrow. Arms are going to come out in front of you, and I do want you to hold them up in front of you this time, but if it is super uncomfortable, they can stay here. Now, you can't do this movement without, I want you to try and do this movement without rocking off the roller, because this time it's really going to help, it's really going to want to rock you forward. So find those sitting bones either on your roller or on your mat, arms in front of you. Now can you keep those sitting bones where they are, but curve your upper spine towards your feet, and you should feel like your core has to work at the end here to keep you on the roller. Because if you just fall forward, then you're going to roll forward off the roller. Okay, so toes pull to the ceiling. Upper spine curves, belly draws in. Good. Slight bend in your knee if you need. Nice. So I'm going to turn sideways so you guys can see a little bit better. So I'm right up onto my sitting bones here, and I need a slight bend in my knee. Just because I can't really sit up that straight with that straight of legs right now. So I have a slight bend in my knee, and I'm sitting up nice and tall now. My sitting bones are going to stay right where they are, but I'm going to curve my upper spine as I reach from my toes and come up. So think rather reaching over top of your toes, so you're not falling down to them, you're reaching over top of them, if that makes sense. So curve your upper spine, drop your shoulders, and up. Good. Curve your spine, really reach forward, pelvis stays where it is. And come up. 2 more. Last one. And relax. Good job. All right, we're almost done. Separate those feet just a little bit wider again. If you are on the length width-wise of your mat, come to like the size, the width of your mat. Readjust if you need to stay upright on that roller. Sitting bones drawing in. You're going to rotate to one side, so we've already done this. Then you're going to dive towards your baby toe on that opposite foot. So reaching for the baby toe, coming up, and rotating back to center. Rotate away, reach for your baby toe, keep those sitting bones on the roller, up and around, and really don't let that roller move, keep it nice and still. So just like we did before, you're curving from your upper spine while the sitting bones stay still. The only difference with this is that we're rotating from side to side in order to make the motion happen rather than just going straight forward. Good, lots of breathing, guys. Good, we're going to do one more on each side. Rotate, dive for that baby toe. Really push for that hip to stay in. You should feel a stretch in your hamstring or back of the leg. Last one, rotate. Dive for baby toe, push hip back. Come up and relax. Whew, good job. You guys can roll off the roller. And we're going to put the roller at our feet. All right? So you can also do this on the mat. Your feet just won't be on the roller. But pretty much all of the exercises you can do without the roller. Okay, so it's up to you. Whatever you have available to you at home. Alright, so set yourself up on the roller. Arches of your feet are on top of the roller. Hands are down by your side. And knees and feet are in line with your hips. Alright, so if you're not sure, just kind of curve your head, take a look. If your hip bones line up with your thighs and your knees line up with your toes, then you're good. If your feet are a little bit closer together or a little bit wider apart, you're going to be able to notice. All right, so arches of feet are directly on top of the roller, hands down by your side. You should be heavy across that strap of your pants, slight curve in your back. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, push into the roller and lift your hips up to the sky. And lower down. If you feel like you're cramping, just stretch out that back of the leg for a moment. Some people may find like they cramp. Some people may be totally fine. Okay? And then just come right back into it. So push hands into the mat, arms, backs of shoulders into the mat, and lift those hips up to the sky. Good. Come back down. Exhale, push. Inhale down. Exhale, push. Inhale down. Exhale, push. Inhale down. You should feel the backs of your legs working really hard to stabilize that roller. And I really want you to think about pulling your hip bones together across the front of your belly as you push up to find that support so that you're not going into your lower back. A couple more here. Last one. Push up and hold. Good. Deep breaths in. All right, you're just going to push a little harder into the right foot. Nothing's going to lift or move, just push harder into the right foot. Even it out. Push harder into the left foot. You should feel like your glute turns on as you do that. Even out. Push right. Even out. Push left. Good. And push from side to side. Trying to keep those hip bones really, really level. So if I was only looking at your hip bones and nothing else, I shouldn't notice that anything is changing or anything is rocking. I shouldn't feel like you're doing anything different than just holding it there. Good. One more on each side. Even it out. And come all the way back down. Beautiful. If you need to, you can give your knees a little hug. And then find that roller again. Now you're going to want to put your arches on the roller, but a little bit heavier towards your toes here. Okay, so a little bit closer to like the tops of the arches and the balls of the feet more so than the heels. Okay, I promise it's going to make sense. If you're feeling like you're a little stuck in your lower back, just do a couple pelvic tilts for me. Pulling that pubic bone up towards your head and then pushing it away. And that's going to get that core active again if it decided to let go a little bit. All right? Good. Settle in the center. Pushing heavy on the fronts of the arches, balls of toes. Lift those hips up to the sky. You may feel like this is even more hamstring. Good. You're going to roll your feet out slightly to about your heels. And then you're going to roll the roller back in towards your bum. Roll out to your heels. Don't go too far or you won't be able to pull it back in. Roll it in. Roll it out. Roll it in. You may slide on it. That's okay. Just readjust. Roll it out. And roll it in. 3. And 2. And 1. And come down. Whew. Good. Just stretch your legs out on the roller for a moment. And rock them side to side. I don't know about you guys, but my hamstrings, my backs of my legs are burning a lot. Good. Feet are flat on the, legs are on the roller. It doesn't matter which portion of the leg is on the roller. Arms come up to the ceiling. You're going to nod your chin. I want you to point your toes and begin to curl yourself all the way up to seated. So that now your legs are over top of the roller. Good job. We're going to flip around. So again, this can be done without the roller. If you've done a lot of my classes, you may be a little bit more familiar with some of the variations. I'm going to try to talk you through them if you're on the mat, so just bear with me. But if you have your roller, even if you have a smaller one, you're going to lie down on your belly. Your hands are going to come, so the wrists are on the roller, and I want your hands a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, okay? So they should be around your wrists, not too high on your hands, but also not too far down your forearm, so kind of around your wrist, somewhere in the middle. Head is going to be down. And I want you to remember to pull your belly button up away from the mat. What it's doing is it's lengthening out your lower back here so that it stays nice and protected and it doesn't get compressed. Your legs are going to stay heavy on the mat. To start, you're going to shrug your shoulders up as you push the roller away. And then draw your shoulder blades down and back as you pull the roller slightly towards you. Push it away and draw it down. This is going to be a small movement. The roller's not going to roll the whole time. You're not extending your spine. You're just moving those shoulders, shrugging up and rolling down. Shrugging up and rolling down. And as you move through this, try very hard not to drive into the roller. So keep your shoulders and your upper back active enough that you don't feel any sort of pain in your shoulder. So like you're trying to get a little bit lighter with your hands on the roller. Lots of breathing. Breathe in one way, out the other. Good, and settle your head down. You can rest your elbows if you'd like. So we're going to turn our palms so that they're down on the roller, but still on your wrists, but palms are facing down. And what I want you to do is take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to draw the roller in as you push your breastbone up off the floor towards the front of your mat, and then roll it away. And if you need to readjust your hands, feel free, find what's comfortable for you. Okay, reach those shoulders up, then drop the shoulders down. That's going to pull the roller towards you slightly. And then once you've dropped your shoulders, you're going to peel your breastbone and head off the mat. Good, so you should be rolling the roller about to your palm. Good, reach the roller away as you come back down to the mat, head just slightly hovered. Then shrug your shoulders up as you get into those wrists. Drop shoulders down. Press your breastbone up off the mat. Come to palms. Reach away. Shrug. Drop. Press up. Really draw belly button into spine. Feet are heavy. And roll down. Shrug. Drop. Press up. Belly button pulls away. Good. Give me one more. You're going to shrug. Then drop. Press away with the breastbone. Reach away. Come all the way down. And reach those hands far. Good. So settle on the mat. Head can be rested on the ground for now. We'll elevate it again in a moment. And you're back to palms stay flat. Actually, sorry, let's switch that. Thumbs are going to come back up towards the ceiling. Okay, I want you to get strong across your mid-back so that you're not hanging on those shoulders, so those hands stay fairly light on the roller. Raise your head just slightly so that it's supported now. And you're going to lift one arm up off the roller just a couple inches and lower it down and switch sides. So the hand only has to come up a couple inches off that roller or off the mat. Good. Switching from side to side. Head is just slightly hovered above the floor. If that's super uncomfortable, you can put it down. It'll be the same motion. One more on each side. Control it up, control it down, and relax. Good. You should feel like your upper back is working a ton right now. Mine certainly is. That's where we want the effort to be. If you feel like it's in your lower back, I need you to draw belly button up even more and push your pubic bone into the mat. That's going to protect it a little bit more and lengthen it out and prevent that compression. All right, we're going to go back to our swan. So I forgot to mention, but if you're doing this on the mat, instead of rolling the roller around, you're just going to have your hands close to your shoulders, and you can push up into that swan position here. So you don't have to do the shoulder movement. Hands will just be by your side, and you'll lift. All right, so we're going to go back to that similar motion right now. So if you're not using a roller, that's where you'll be. Palms down. Head is down. Drop those shoulders down. You're going to tuck your tummy. Begin to peel your breastbone up off the mat. And as you do so, I want you to look to one side, finding a little bit more pressure into the hand that you're turning into. So I'm turning left. My left hand is pushing a little harder. And you should feel like underneath your armpit has to work a lot. My arm is even shaking doing this. Good. Roll back down straight to center. Then roll up the other way and push heavy into the opposite, into the right arm. Roll away. Roll up, belly draws in, tummy tucks, and you look to the other side. Roll up, rotate the head, push into that arm. Roll up, look away, push. Push into that arm. Armpit should be burning. Tummy is tucked, pubic bone pushing into the mat. One more on this final side. And relax. Maybe you can take your hands off the roller for a moment if you need to. Sometimes it's a little heavy on the joints. Good. All right, we're almost done here in this position. Have your arms out straight, wrists on the roller. Draw those shoulders down. Press yourself up into that swan position as far as the extension is comfortable for you. Pubic bone is pushing in towards the mat, belly button is drawing away. You're going to hover both of your feet off the mat. So the legs are reaching really long, trying to touch the wall behind you. That means the backs of the legs and the bum are working very hard to hold this position. And then you're just going to gently flutter those legs up and down. Holding your upper body nice and still. I want you to look down and just at the edge of your roller, so not cranking your head forward. Looking down, keeping the back of the neck long. Push pubic bone into mat. Belly button draws away. Push hands into the roller. Get really strong in your shoulders. And squeeze bum back of legs. Lots of things to think about. We're going to kick. Keep going. Let's go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, reaching away. Get really long with your body. And then come all the way down. Good. And release those arms. Good. Leave your roller where it is. I just want you to roll onto your back for a moment. And let your hands fall down by your side. And just take a minute to notice, even if you did this without the roller, we've done a ton of activation along the back of our body. And I just want you to see how you feel lying on the mat. What I'm hoping is that everybody feels like they're sinking into the ground a little bit. Their shoulders are a little heavier on the mat. They're not rolling up or popping up. And your body maybe just feels a little bit more relaxed. Even though it worked a ton, I hope that it feels a little bit relaxed right now. If you're feeling any pain in your lower back, you can rock your knees from side to side a little bit just to sort of stretch it out. And you're just going to have to be aware in the future of really tucking that tail when you're on your belly and pushing pubic bone into the mat just to protect that a little bit. All right, guys, we're almost done here. So you're going to come back to your roller or your mat. Your hands are going to be on the roller. Now, you may want to find you really let your fingers kind of curl across the front of it just to get out of the very flexed position of the wrists. And if it does bother you, your wrist, you can come out of it whenever you need to and just roll them around before getting back in, okay? If you're on the mat, then unfortunately you're in that very flexed position. All right, so hands are directly under shoulders and your knees are under your hips. And you're going to curve your spine to the ceiling and arc it down. And curve it up, really tucking your tail, finding your core. And curve down, inhale, open your chest. Good. And then just settle in the center. So you should already feel like your hands are a little unstable and they need to work. If you feel like your shoulders are up in your ears, drop them down for me. All right. Pushing extra heavy into the left hand, I want you to hover your right hand off the roller. Lower it down. Good. Push hard into the right hand, hover the left. Or onto the mat, that's fine too. What I want you to notice as you're switching hands is that the shoulders don't change. So instead of lifting like this, I'm really just taking the hand off, bending the elbow, but my shoulders have stayed exactly the same as when it was on the mat or on the roller. So you should feel like you have to do a lot of core work to keep that position, particularly along the sides of your core of the hand that's lifted and across your belly. And one more in each hand. And settle down. Good. You're going to tuck those toes behind you. Take a deep breath in. Drop shoulders. Exhale, hover knees off the mat. Inhale, lower them down. Good. Find that balance. Exhale, hover. Inhale, lower. Exhale, hover. Inhale, lower. Exhale, hover. Good job, everybody. Inhale, lower. Exhale, hover. Inhale, lower. And just sit back on your heels, drop your elbows to the mat. And relax. Good. Come back up. All right, we're going to keep our knees on the mat for right now. Deep breath in, you're going to lift one leg up into a 90-degree angle. So sole of foot towards the ceiling. Knee is bent. And then just set it back down. And can you try, as you switch to the other side, can you try to stay as even across the pelvis as you can? So same as when we lifted our hands, shoulders didn't move. Try to keep pelvis from moving. And switch sides. Good, you're reaching the sole of your foot to the ceiling. You should feel like your glutes have to work. Make sure you bring that knee right back underneath you. Nice, and one more. Good, and sit back. Okay, roll out your wrists a little bit. All right, last little bit of effort, and then we're going to cool it down. You're going to keep the roller where it is, and you're going to put your upper back, so somewhere around middle of your back, just below your shoulder blades or just at the tips of your shoulder blades. The lower down that it is, the more challenging it's going to be here, and the higher up it is, the easier it's going to be. Okay, so feet are bent. Knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor, and you're going to have your hand behind your head, and I want you to tilt that pubic bone down towards the floor a little bit so that you're level across hip bones and pubic bones, so that there is a nice angle there. Lower back should be open but active. Lower belly super active. Good, feet are going to stay heavy. So you're going to begin to curl back just slightly. I know you're going to want to stretch, but don't go too far. Feel like you have to work with your core as you go back. And then as you exhale, you're going to do a curl up to the start, feeling lots of work across here. Inhale, open up the ribs slightly. Exhale, draw those ribs in towards your back. Inhale, curl up and over, open the ribs. Exhale, draw ribs in and reach up. Good. Inhale back. Inhale back. Two more. Beautiful. Last one. Keep those legs really still. Beautiful. Hands can come down by your side. Just shift the roller up a little bit and you can relax slightly. So less work here. More support in your upper back. Hands can stay by your head. Take a deep breath. Good. And I just want you to side bend to one side and then side bend the other. And it should feel pretty good on your back. Again, legs stay nice and still. They're not going to move. Good. Side to side. Good. Now push the roller up to kind of tops of the shoulder blades. And you're just going to bend over. It says below your neck, but it's top of your shoulder blades. And you should feel like there's a really nice stretch across your chest here. Breathe into it. Come on up. Rock back again. And come on up. And roll it down just slightly again, so it's about the middle of your back. You're going to get more of a stretch here, so be careful as you go back. Only go back as far as is comfortable. And come on all the way up. Beautiful. All right. Now you're going to push in with your feet. Hands can come across your chest so that you're raising your bum off the floor. All right, so you've got lots of support, and you're just going to roll the roller up and down your back, only to middle of, like base of your shoulder blades to top of your shoulder blades, so don't go any lower than that. And it should feel pretty good. Good, come all the way down. Push the roller out of the way. And lie back by your mat. Take a couple deep breaths in for me. And relax on the mat. And again, see how you feel compared to when we started. Hopefully a little more relaxed, like things are a little more active. Good, and when you're ready, come on your side, come up to seated, and you are all done. Really well done today, really good job. I hope you had fun using the roller if you were able to use one. If you didn't have a roller today and you just did it on the mat, I still hope you felt like you got a little bit of a workout, but I highly suggest investing in one of these. They're great for multiple things, not just a hard Pilates class. But it would be really great to come back to this and do it with the roller if you were only able to do it on the mat today. So thank you for joining me. Let me know if you have any comments or questions. Put them in the section below, and we will see you next week. Bye, guys.